A single $10 payment will never destroy your finances. That is the comforting lie. Wealth rarely dies from one wound. It bleeds slowly through thousands of tiny cuts. Nobody goes bankrupt from one reckless decision. They collapse from quiet financial leaks repeating every month. Subscriptions, micropayments, digital comforts, draining wealth with surgical precision. $10 feels harmless, almost invisible. Your brain classifies it as trivial noise, but trivial noise repeated across years becomes a quiet financial hemorrhage. The subscription economy understands something terrifying about human psychology. People resist large costs violently, but they surrender instantly to small invisible payments quietly multiplying over time. Netflix, software subscriptions, cloud storage, productivity tools, tiny upgrades, each one politely asks for $10. None of them feel dangerous alone, but together they form something brutal. A silent network of automated withdrawals operating every month while you sleep, slowly rerouting your future wealth elsewhere. This is not a budgeting failure, it is neurological design. Your brain evolved to detect immediate threats, not slow financial erosion occurring through harmless-looking digital transactions. Evolution prepared humans to fear predators, storms, and starvation, not automated credit card charges scheduled politely on the 15th of every month, because $10 triggers almost zero emotional resistance. Your nervous system barely notices it leaving. That is exactly why the system works so perfectly. Now multiply that $10 by 20 different services. Entertainment, software, storage, apps promising productivity. Suddenly your finances are bleeding $200 every single month. $200 monthly does not feel catastrophic either, but over 10 years that quiet leak becomes $24,000 evaporating into digital convenience. And that number ignores the most dangerous force in finance, compounding. Money quietly growing through time while your subscriptions quietly consume the seed. Those tiny monthly payments are not just expenses, they are stolen investment opportunities, seeds that never entered the soil of compounding capital. The subscription economy did not happen accidentally, it was engineered. Designed carefully around the psychological blind spots inside your brain. One company asking for $10 is harmless. 40 companies asking politely every month becomes a financial parasite living inside your bank account. The most dangerous part is automation. Once payments become invisible, your brain stops evaluating them entirely. The financial leak becomes permanent background noise. Meanwhile, the companies receiving those $10 understand something brutally simple. Small payments repeated millions of times build empires. Your $10, their billion-dollar valuation. That is the quiet arithmetic of the subscription economy operating perfectly in the background. The trap is psychological blindness. Humans track large expenses carefully but completely ignore swarms of tiny financial insects feeding quietly every month. And that blindness slowly transforms convenience into captivity. Your money leaves automatically while your future wealth quietly shrinks without dramatic warning. The most dangerous payments are the ones you never question. $10 feels invisible, but invisibility is exactly how financial systems quietly drain decades of future compounding. The real danger begins after the first subscription. One service feels justified, two feel useful, 10 quietly become infrastructure for a lifestyle that taxes your future. Modern companies stop selling products, they now sell access. Access repeats payments. Repetition creates predictability. Predictability quietly transforms your bank account into their permanent revenue stream. Your brain loves subscriptions because they eliminate decisions. Decisions require energy. Automation removes friction. And remove friction allows money to disappear without emotional resistance. Every automated payment removes a moment where your brain could question value. Without friction, evaluation disappears. Without evaluation, spending quietly multiplies. This is behavioral economics in action. Humans dramatically underestimate recurring expenses while overestimating one-time purchases that actually hurt far less financially. A $1,000 purchase feels painful immediately. $10 monthly feels harmless forever. Yet mathematics quietly favors the first option over time. Because recurring payments do not simply cost money, they consume future investment capital before it ever has a chance to compound. Each subscription steals a tiny portion of your financial oxygen, individually survivable, collectively suffocating your capacity to build meaningful capital. Companies call this convenience. Economists call it behavioral capture. Your spending becomes predictable, stable, and perfectly optimized for corporate revenue models. Once inside the system, subscriptions accumulate silently. New apps appear, trials convert automatically. Old services remain forgotten, yet still quietly charging you. Your bank statement slowly transforms into a battlefield of tiny charges, none of them individually alarming, all of them collectively devastating. This is the psychology of spending blindness. The brain filters repetitive patterns as background noise, even when those patterns quietly control your financial future. Over time, you stop seeing the payments entirely. The system becomes invisible infrastructure quietly redirecting wealth from your future into corporate balance sheets. The tragedy is subtle. You still believe you are financially responsible. After all, you avoided large purchases and dramatic spending mistakes. But wealth is not destroyed only by dramatic mistakes. It dies quietly through habits designed to feel harmless while operating continuously. The subscription economy thrives on one brutal truth. Humans underestimate anything small, automatic, and emotionally painless. Your $10 payment is not just revenue, it is proof the psychological system worked perfectly again. Multiply that proof across millions of users and you begin to understand why the subscription economy dominates modern business models. And the most dangerous part remains hidden. While companies build billion-dollar empires from subscriptions, your compounding engine quietly starves from lack of capital. This is the moment the illusion collapses completely. The danger was never one expensive purchase. It was the silent army of $10 payments draining your future. The trap becomes visible only when you step back. $10 feels microscopic. Repeated monthly across years, it quietly mutates into a slow financial hemorrhage. Now the psychological autopsy begins. Your brain was not designed to track dozens of tiny financial decisions repeating automatically every month without visible pain. The nervous system reacts strongly to large threats, but slow repetitive losses remain invisible, quietly bypassing the ancient alarm systems inside your brain. Companies understand this weakness perfectly. They divide large costs into tiny fragments until the brain stops resisting entirely. A $100 product feels expensive. The same product for $9.99 per month feels harmless. Your perception changes. The mathematics never did. Over time, these fragments accumulate into something brutal, permanent financial drag slowing every attempt to build real capital. Think of subscriptions as invisible gravity, individually weak, collectively powerful enough to keep your wealth permanently grounded. Each monthly charge reduces your capacity to invest, experiment, or tolerate risk inside the real economy. Capital becomes trapped in consumption loops instead of flowing into ownership, assets, and compounding systems. This is the paradox. Subscriptions promise convenience today while quietly taxing every version of your future self. Now the paradigm shift begins. Wealth is rarely destroyed by lifestyle explosions. It erodes through frictionless consumption systems engineered for permanence. Subscriptions are not services, they are economic pipelines, redirecting millions of tiny payments from consumers toward concentrated corporate capital. The system scales perfectly. Millions of people lose small amounts while companies accumulate enormous predictable revenue streams. That is why nearly every digital product transformed into subscription models. Predictability builds empires. Meanwhile, the consumer experiences only mild inconvenience, never the full financial picture unfolding slowly over years. This is how the trap sustains itself. Small payments, low emotional friction, permanent automation. Breaking the trap requires something uncomfortable, awareness. Awareness restores friction where automation once removed it. Because once the full cost becomes visible, the illusion of harmless payments begins collapsing immediately. The numbers reveal something brutal. Your financial future was never attacked by luxury. It was quietly drained by convenience. And once you see the system clearly, a final question becomes unavoidable. Who truly owns your money? You or the invisible subscriptions living permanently inside your bank account? Now the Obsidian Protocol begins. Brutal rule number 1. Audit every automatic payment invading your bank account like silent parasites feeding monthly without resistance. Most people never perform this inspection. Payments operate quietly in the background, protected by convenience and forgetfulness. Write every subscription on a single page. Streaming platforms, apps, SaaS tools, cloud storage, premium upgrades. When the numbers appear together, the illusion collapses instantly. Small payments reveal their true collective weight. Rule number 2. Destroy every subscription that does not directly increase income, knowledge, or strategic leverage. Entertainment subscriptions are the easiest targets. They quietly monetize boredom while pretending to solve it. Each cancellation restores a small stream of capital back into your control. The goal is simple. Reverse the direction of financial flow. Money should accumulate around you, not escape you. Rule number 3, replace consumption subscriptions with ownership assets whenever possible. Ownership compounds, subscriptions decay. The mathematics are brutally simple. Assets generate future options, subscriptions generate future obligations. One system slowly expands your power, the other slowly contracts it. Over years, the difference becomes enormous, almost impossible to reverse. That is why the $10 trap matters more than luxury purchases. Small leaks sink large ships. Financial systems obey the same law. The wealthy understand something simple. Control the outflow first, then build the inflow. Without this discipline, income increases simply inflate the number of subscriptions draining it. Convenience becomes addiction. Automation becomes dependency. And dependency slowly erodes financial sovereignty until escape feels impossible. So ask yourself one final question tonight. Which subscriptions deserve to exist inside your financial life tomorrow?